SADIST is using the exact same 3 techniques over and over again in all of her animated videos. YouTube blog style transitions, combining shots, and 2 pose movement always draw to a beat. We're gonna be going over that in a second. The reason I wanted to go over these is because if you do these 3 things, it can make your work look super pro really fast. All right, I'm an animation director. I've worked with the Avatar crew on like Voltron and Dota, and I've also worked on Invincible for a hot second. I'm gonna be talking directly to SADIST in this video, comparing and contrasting professional animation techniques to YouTube animation techniques. I've actually only watched a few clips from her stuff, but I'm gonna be watching it fully through, and I honestly want to see if she has what it takes to be an actual professional animator. All right, I'm not acting. I'm not gonna be putting on a show. I'm not gonna be making you laugh. I'm serious. YouTube style blog transitions. She's taken something that's traditionally like found on YouTube, and she has transitioned it into something more cinematic. Whenever I look at this, this feels like the key that brings it all together. If it weren't for this, I feel like it would fall apart. It feels essential to hold everything together, but honestly, there's a problem with it that I'm gonna be explaining in a minute. It's a mistake that I actually made a lot in the beginning of my animation career. Number 1 is blur and focus. If you want anything to look cinematic, your comics or any kind of your work, illustrations, blur out the background or the foreground. It's really that simple. All right, I want you to go through her videos and look at how often she does this. It's every single frame, I swear. The perspective doesn't even have to be 100% on. It just looks crisp. All right, here's a storyboard I did for Dota. The foreground flowers are really out of focus, and the background is completely blurred out because the little girl in the front is the main focus. There's different ways to use this.
What are you drawing?
Isn't it magical, Papa?
And what will you name it?
Well, I'm actually just noticing this. She has it in the intro. She has it right here. Oh, and here's another thing too with focus. If you want anything to feel cinematic, it doesn't even have to be midground, foreground, background. It can literally be every single thing. The camera is just coming in and out of focus. So like right here, this anvil is just moving in and out of focus. This hog dude is the main focus in the beginning of the shot, and then we rack focus, we change to the background character. And what you'll see a lot of people do if they're fresh in the animation industry, they're going to just pick like 5 different shots telling the exact same story. But what she's doing right here is already combining multiple shots into just one single shot. If you want to make illustrations, learn how to do this. It's really important. That's one way of combining shots, but there's another professional way of doing it that was actually done to my boards on Dota. Check this out. So right here, I was trying to find a creative way to show that she has the scar on her arm and also get their expressions, because that's what we want to see in animation. We want to see the look on their faces. So can we take the information and also in the same shot show their faces, you know, the reactions? It's kind of tricky to do it sometimes, but that's the goal.
Home.
All right, in this shot, he's showing her this big castle for the first time that he's built for her. And we get this really beautiful spinning move that she does, and she comes running in. And I have her run up the stairs to where the camera can actually see her expression on her face whenever she realizes her mom's not there. And what happened was I handed this off to the animation team. They realized when they put it all together, they're like, this is too long. In a whole animated episode, sometimes you gotta cut back and you have to combine shots this way. So their solution was actually pretty simple. She comes in, and right after her spin, that's when she stops and we can see her reaction. So she never has to go up the stairs. It's kind of hard animating people walking on stairs anyway, which is also why I try to cut out the feet, but it just keeps everything simple and a little bit more quick, you know?
Philomena, show me. Does it hurt?
Only a little.
Sensitivity to touch, veins, bruises, rash. How long have you had these?
So in order to do scenes like this, sometimes I have to think about the very, very end shot. What do I want the end to be? And I want the end shot for this is for him to look up at the moon through the window. So that's how I need to stage it from the very beginning. So I'm not thinking linearly. I'm thinking the end goal, you know? So my first thought is, how can I get him in the shot, and how can I get these 3 mages in the shot and the moon all in the same shot? All right, if I had to go back and do it again, I think I would change up his pose just a little bit. But other than that, this is how I'm trying to compose things. What's the story? If you watch the story, he has a connection to the moon. That's why I needed to line it up like that. All right, so you see what I'm doing? I'm not like trying to be like, oh, his face, then the moon, then the mages, then this and that. I'm trying to line it up and make it simple, because you can always add more. You just start with the basics. She's using that technique extremely well. What she's also using really well is cutting on action. You can see it right here. It just makes like a nice smooth transition. You can follow the action. That's the same thing that I'm doing right here.
Perhaps a mother. Get out!
Oh, and actually another really cool tidbit that I just realized is that her camera follows the action too. You see how the camera's kind of rolling with the action? In this shot right here, the camera is following every single little movement that the character does. This is how you can get the most out of your animation with doing very little. All right, I want to show you this YouTube blog style of animation that she's kind of ripped off, but also I want to point out this pattern that she does of 2-pose animation style. This is actually something I just noticed as I'm going through. See, this is the thing how you learn in animation, is that you go through, especially with the sound off. If you can turn the sound off of something and you can recognize a pattern that happens over and over and over again. They're using the exact same thing over and over again. And that's how you know that you can keep it simple and still do pro work like this. What I'm talking about is something like this right here, where a character begins in one pose and then they switch to one more. It's a very simple 1, 2. This is a really great shot. This character moves in and it's like a beat. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right here, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Cutting on action right here, there's a 1, 2 pose right there. With the horse, 1, 2. With him looking down, 1, 2. Axe down, axe up. Mouth open, mouth closed. And even this one looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you notice, the last pose is the exact same as the first pose, so it's a 3-pose shot still. All right, you get the point, but I want you to go through and watch through these animatics, and you will see the exact same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, this is the one I want to talk about the most, the YouTube style blog transitions. The reason this one works so much is you can literally be making a cup of coffee, and you can still make it interesting. Here's a really clear example of this house. All right, the tactic that we use in editing is called speed ramp. Basically, it's coming in normal, speeding up really quick, and then slowing down. That can be camera, that can be character motion, that can be anything. When I was talking about the character 1, 2 poses, it actually has a lot to do with that. It's a zip, zip. All right, and so the way I think about this is draw on a beat. Visualize a beat, try to imagine a beat. If you can actually draw to the beat of a song, you know, in an animatic form. The reason that this is important is because she's doing it every single frame. Once you see it, you really can't unsee it. Even the axe motion. Zip, zip. Zip, zip, zippity-doo-dah. All right, now I want you to pay attention right here. Each one of these transitions has it. It's like zip, zip. It does a ramp, and then it does another ramp, and it does another ramp, one after another. Watch this. Boom, boom. And so this is what I'm talking about, drawing to a beat, animating to a beat. If you can watch this, watch it with the sound off, you can actually see and feel the beat of the ramps. See, watch it again. Even the campus has it on it. And my absolute most favorite shot is this sword coming into camera, and the camera spins on it. That is sick. That's dope. That's what I'm talking about. You can learn this type of stuff in YouTube style blogging. Look at Peter McKinnon. Look at this. The way the camera's pushing in really quickly and then slowing down and speeding up again. And zooming in, zooming out. All kinds of YouTubers use this. It's so effective. It's literally so effective that you can buy packs for editing programs that will automatically add these to your videos. Is it really a cheat? I don't think it's a cheat. It's just something that it just works. Especially in music videos, it's something that can just progress the video and make it feel seamless. Okay, so here's what I was getting at before. You can apply this to your animation and it's really cool. All right, but you have to be careful with it because I did this a lot in the beginning of my career. And what had ended up happening was not everything is a music video. And what she's doing is basically a music video, right? Well, I started working in film and you really can't do this because once you do this too much, like if you overdo it, it begins to make it feel too dizzy and I pushed it way too far. So if you're working in film, you really can't do this all that often as opposed to this where she does it every single shot. But obviously it works. It works really well for the animation that she does. So I guess as an end result, I would say that SADIST could definitely work as a professional in the animation industry, no problem. I think the only real question is, does she want to? Because I don't think she needs to. She can literally be doing this all by herself. She could be creating her own stories, her own ideas at this point if she wants to. I had a really good time just kind of chilling, taking it easy, and not really trying too hard on this video. You know, sometimes I just want to chill. I don't want to have to do a whole full-on production. Every single video is a freaking cinematic journey, and that gets kind of tiring. So just let me know if this type of format is okay with you, or if you want the more cinematic stuff. All right, SADIST, keep at it. You're an inspiration.